Hey everyone, what's up? Well, today it is a very hot day today. It is 88 degrees. It's actually the hottest day so far of this year. In fact, if I just grab my phone here, open up my weather app, as you can see, it's 88 degrees and the high is going to be 92. In fact, we're actually under heat advisory, as you can see there. So, not looking forward to that. And supposedly, we might get a thunderstorm later on, but we'll see about that. So, yeah, not looking forward to that. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is actually going to be the 2026 startup video on the trimmers, blowers, and the hedge trimmer, chainsaw, and Mantis tiller. Now, I know I am a little late on this year, and that's just because I've just been busy with work, and then I was sick a little while ago with the cold, so I wasn't able to do it then. So figured today's a good time to do that. And as you can see, I think my grass would agree with that. It is very tall. It needs to be cut. So yeah, anyway, so here everything is all ready to be started up this year. So here's the trimmers, and as you can see, looks like my SRM225 is fallen over, so I'll have to tilt that back up. But yeah, so let's go ahead and put some gas in these machines, and let's get started. Alright, so here's the first one we're going to start. The Echo SRM2400 that I got last year. So we'll see how it does this year. So turn it on, choke, primer bulb right over here. So give that a few pushes. Okay, should be good enough there. So as you can see, I am gonna have to get a new handle grip for this thing, because you can see it's starting to fall apart there, so that's not very good. But last year this trimmer did run pretty well after I fixed it up, so we'll see how it does this year. Hang on a second, get my camera set up here. Alright, that should work. So, hold the throttle. Oh, got fireage. Yeah, I revved it too fast there. Hang on. Yeah, I still haven't gotten this thing to run right with the throttle. Still wants to bog out at times. but as you can hear, it runs really good. So, not too bad. Alright, now for the Homelite. Alright, now for the 2001 Homelite trim light, as you can see there. And this is model UT20760. And this one was made in Mexico. And it was actually manufactured by John Deere, as you can see there. So we'll see how this one will run. So as you can see, I did do some work to this trimmer. I found a new old stock air filter box and cover, so now this thing has a proper air filter setup rather than before where it didn't have a cover at all. It was just exposed, which I really didn't like that. So now I decided to fix that. And also too, I did get a new head for it too, so it's not going to have this horrible head anymore. It's going to have a proper bump head, so that's good. So anyway, let's see how this one runs. So looks like it's already on choke, so now we just gotta prime it up. Get some primes for a good time. And as you can see there, there's the starting instructions for this trimmer. So I primed it. Now we gotta pull till it starts, and it's already on choke. So let's see what happens here. And set this camera up. Tripod. I don't know why this thing is not working right. There we go. Alright, so let's just put the camera here and we'll see what happens. And it is, there's a little bit of pollen dust on it because the pollen's really bad right now. It's actually causing my allergies to act up. So anyway, here we go. Okay. Oh. Try choke again. That's unusual. It is a little loud because there's no string in it. Good enough for me. Yeah, this might have to do some carburetor work to it one of these days. Alright, next. Alright, here's the next one we're going to start. This is a 2011 Toro model 51936, as you can see. So this was my very first gas trimmer, and it has a 25cc Carrots engine, as you can see there. Can you see that? Yeah, 25cc. So we'll see how this one does. Now, I haven't used this trimmer in quite a while. I think possibly the last time this thing was started was last year's startup video. So yeah. So anyway, let's try it out. Turn it on. Set it to choke. And primer bulb right over here. And as you can see there, it says push bulb 8 times. So we'll do that. 5, 8, and let's see what happens here. Oh, that's not good. Looks like the primer bulb just cracked, so I'm gonna have to replace the primer bulb on this thing. And yeah, the fuel lines are like rocks, so that's not too good, but we'll see if it starts anyway. Ooh. Set the camera up. Okay. All right. Wow, that was really easy starting, actually. I did not expect this thing to start that easy. Especially with no working primer. That's pretty impressive. Let it warm up a little bit here. So, not too bad. Wow. I have to say, for a lower end trimmer, this thing actually runs and performs very well. I am pretty impressed with this machine. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, because it is a Keurig engine, which is the same engine that's used in Echoes. Alright, now for the 2019 Echo SRM225 straight shaft trimmer. This is powered by a 21.2cc engine, as you can see there. 21.2cc professional grade 2-stroke engine. Now, this trimmer still does exist to this day. You can still buy these. There's also the GT225, which is the same engine as this, just with a curved shaft instead of a straight shaft. So if you prefer curved shaft, then that's definitely the way to go. But this has been a great trimmer since I've had it. The only issue I had with it was last year, if you remember, the primer bulb stopped working, and that was because the primer base actually went bad, which is quite a common issue on these carburetors. So I replaced that, and then this thing just ran perfect after. So other than that, this thing has been very reliable, and it's a great trimmer, especially for a homeowner with just an average size yard like this. So this is definitely what I would go with. But anyway, enough of all that. Let's start this up. Turn it on. Choke. Give it some primes. As you can see there, the primer bulb is filling up. So that's good. So let's see what happens here. Okay. So not bad. Now I'll do that I-30 recoil starter. So do it one more time. So not too bad. Was a little boggy for some reason, so I don't know what's going on, but as you can see, it still ran. So anyway, now for the Stihls. Alright, so now for the first Stihl. So this is a 2011 Stihl FS45 string trimmer. So this is powered by a, as you can see, 27cc engine, and it was made in 2011. So this is the same engine that's used in the BG55 that I have. So this is just a regular two-stroke, not a two-mix like the 56 over there. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this up. So turn it on, choke, get some primes for a good time. Okay, that should be good enough there. Now, you can still actually buy this model, except it's now the FS38, which is the same trimmer as this, just has a shorter shaft. This shaft is a little longer. So yeah, so let's go ahead and set this camera down. And hopefully you can see that. Let me just tilt you up a little bit. Okay. Come over here. Ah, fire. Oh. There we go. Alright. Yeah, it is a little cold. Beautiful. All right, next. Now for the 2017 Stihl FS56 RCE, as you can see there. So this is powered by a 27cc stratocharged engine. Same engine used in the FS70, BG86 blower, and the BR200 backpack. So yeah, let's see how this starts. So as you can see, this one is automatically on, so we don't have to worry about that. Choke it. Give it some primes. Has Stihl's easy to start system, so that means it does have 2 coils in there for easy starting. In fact, I'm just gonna start it like this. Look at that. 2 pulls. FS56 RCE. Starts right up. Awesome. Alright, now for the lovely 4-mix twins that I have. So the first one we're going to start out with is this guy right here. So this is a 2022 Stihl FS91R string trimmer. So this guy right here, he's powered by a 28.4 cc 4-mix engine. So basically just a 4-stroke that uses 2-stroke gas for lubrication, so there's no oil sumps. So yeah, so let's start this up. So semi-automatic choke, so when you depress the throttle, automatically goes back into the run position. The 56 has that too, I forgot to mention that. But anyway, so choke, prime it up. Okay. Now, usually these 4-mixes are usually easy starters. In some cases, even 1-pull wonders. So let's see what happens with this guy today. Probably one of the best trimmers I ever bought. So turn it off, just push this button and it automatically shuts off. So there's that. So now for the last trimmer. Alright, now for my 2024 Stihl KM111R. So this is just a power head only in Stihl's combi lineup. So basically you can fit all kinds of different attachments in the lineup. So I have the trimmer attachment on there right now, as you can see. So yeah, so I've had this machine since last year, and it's been a great trimmer. I absolutely love it, just like the 56 over there, or the 91, I'm sorry. But the 56, to be fair, has been a good trimmer as well, despite it being a homeowner model. But anyway, let's start this one up again. So, semi-automatic choke, as you can see. And this time I'll actually make sure it's in the choke position, unlike the 91. Give it some primes for a good time. So, let's see how easily this one roars to life. And man, that breeze feels so nice, especially on this really hot day. Okay. Uh-oh. There's gas in, there should be gas in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of gas in there. There we go. Ah, that's a neutral. Not sure what that was all about, but nevertheless, it's running now. And I forgot to mention, but this has a 31cc, unlike the 91 that has a 28.4. So this one has a slightly bigger engine and a little more power, but I don't really notice that big of a difference, to be honest. But I'm still very happy with this model, just like all the Stihl trimmers I have. So, that was the final trimmer, so now I think I'll do the Mantis next. Alright, so here is the Mantis tiller. I'm not exactly sure on the year of this one, but it's definitely a mid to late 90s. So, this is the one that I got last year that I fixed up. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with this little tiller, actually. We used it once last year and it did very well, so I absolutely love these Mantis tillers. So anyway, let's start this up. So let's make sure the switch is on. I think I shall look. Yeah, oh yeah, down's for run, that's right. I always forget about how to do this. So down is run. So set its choke, give it some primes. Okay, as you can see, primer's working great. And now I am running Echo Red Armor fuel in this machine. So let's grab the tripod. So let me just back you guys up for this part. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. So, let's see what happens here. Every time. Now, I'll let it warm up a little bit. That thing started easily. I am very impressed. Awesome. I love these Mantis tillers. They are great machines. And sorry about that. The camera overheated again. So if you see a bunch of jump cuts in this video, that's why. So, next. Alright, so here's the next one we're going to start. This is my Echo HC150 hedge trimmer. Now, this is powered by a 21.2 cc engine. Just actually, it's the same engine that's in the Mantis tiller. And now Echo no longer makes the HC150. It got replaced with the HC150T, and then that got replaced by the HC2520, I think. But for my usage, this is perfect. So with that being said, let's see how this one does. So pull the blade guard off, come over here, and this thing's a little dirty. I'm gonna have to clean it. It's because I haven't used it in so long. I don't really do a lot of hedge trimming, so yeah. So anyway, let's start this up. So toggle switch on, shut its choke, primer bulbs right underneath the carburetor. Give that a few pushes. Perfect. Okay, so let's start this up. Let me just get the camera set up. Let's see. I think we'll set it up over here like that. There we go. Okay, that should be good. Come on. There we go. Alright. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. Like the Mantis tiller. Alright, let's rev it. Perfect. So not too bad. Yeah, the grass is a little tall, so it kind of did stall a little bit, but hey, not bad. All right, now for the chainsaw. All right, now for my chainsaw. So this is a, I want to say 1991 Stihl SRM225C. This is powered by a, as you can see there, 32cc engine. And now this is the older version of the MS180, which they still sell that to this day. And this model here has a 14-inch bar on it, and yeah, it's a pretty good chainsaw for what I use it for, which I haven't used this thing at all. I didn't use it at all last year, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. So I will promise, definitely this year, if I do any cutting, I will definitely make a video, because I was requested quite a while back to do that, but I didn't have to. I haven't done any cutting, so I just haven't needed to use it. But definitely this year I will definitely try and make a video. And there's a bird in that branch over there. And speaking of bird, looks like a bird was on this thing, as you can see there. So yeah, anyway, let's start this thing up. So chain brake on, set it to choke. Now the way to start this saw is there's no primer bulb, all it is a choke. So basically you put it on choke, pull till it fires. Once it fires, put it on half choke, pull again, and once it starts, just squeeze the throttle and it puts it in the run position. And then of course to turn it off, just push up like that. So anyway, let's start it up. So hold the throttle. Okay, put the camera on the tripod, move the display guard out of here, and then we could, okay, that should work. So typical fashion, whenever you start a chainsaw, you always want to hold it firmly with your foot like this. Hold it with your hold the handle firmly and pull. And like I said, do not drop start a chainsaw. Very dangerous. Anyway, let's start it up. Okay, try to fire. Yeah, it is cold. Has been it's been sitting for years, so. Let me try putting it back on choke. Might have to. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, running a little boggy. But hey, at least it started, so sweet. Now for the blowers. Alright, so here's the first blower we're going to start. This is a 2006 Echo PB200 leaf blower. So this particular one is powered by a 21.2cc engine, just like the Echo SRM225 and the HC150 that I have. Now, this is also known as the PB2100, which was the older version of this, and then eventually this got replaced by the PB250, or the PB251 and then the PB250. So anyway, let's start this up. Turn it on, set it to choke, and primer bulb is underneath the carburetor, as you can see there, so I'll give it some primes. 5 primes should be good. And I'm running Echo Red Armor in this blower, since I just put this carburetor on there last spring when I first got this thing. So it should start right up. Let me grab the tripod. Come on. Sorry about that. Just trying to get... There we go. Okay. Wow. Wow, that is amazing. I did not expect this thing to start that easy. Awesome. Gotta love your Echoes, that's for sure. Alright, next. Alright, so here's the next blower we're gonna start. So this is a 2008 Stihl BG55. Now this is powered by a 27.2cc engine. And as you can see there, it was made in 2008. So this is just a 27cc two-stroke, regular two-stroke, not a two-mix like the 45 that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, it's been a great blower since I've had it all these years. So, and also too, as you can see, I finally got a badge for it now, so it looks proper. So anyway, let's start this up. So switch is on, choke, give it some primes. Okay, that should work. We'll set it right over there. That should be good. There we go. Okay. Oh, wow. Well, that was pretty easy starting. It's a little cold. Might have to choke it a little bit. Alright, it's warmed up a little bit now. Sweet. Alright, next. Alright, next blower we're going to start. This is a 2016 Echo PB250 LN handheld leaf blower. And I've had this blower since July of 2016, even though as you can see there it was built in June of 2016. And it is powered by a 25.4 cc engine. So I love this blower. I've never had to do any repairs to it at all since I've had it. It always starts right up in just 2-3 pulls most of the time. So yeah, so let's try it out. Turn it on, put it on choke, give it some prime, just get some gas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go with 6 primes here. Set it over there. Grab the tripod. Whoops. Okay. So 2 pulls. Very impressive. Gotta love your Echoes, that's for sure. Sweet. Alright, now last handheld. Alright, so here's the last handheld we have. So this is a 2017 Stihl BG86 handheld leaf blower. So as you can see here, this is powered by a 27cc engine, and it was built in 2017. So if you guys remember, I got this last year, and when I got it, the previous owner only used it once, and then I got it and I've put some use on it. It's such a great blower. It's very nice to use, lots of power. Now this is actually Stihl's top of the line handheld blower, and it has the 27cc Stratocharge, same engine used on the BG56 and 66 blowers, and also the BR200 backpack. Oh man, now it's really windy. So let's see how this one does today. So semi-automatic choke, so when you depress the throttle, automatically goes back into the run position. Choke, give it some primes. Okay, that should be good enough there. Grab the tripod. Come on. Thank you. All right. Oh. All right, off we go. Awesome. Awesome. What a great machine. All right, now it's time to start the backpacks. All right, so here's the first backpack we're going to start. This is a 2011 Echo PB265L backpack blower. So as you can see here, this is powered by a 25.4cc engine, and it was built in November of 2011. So this uses the same engine as the PB250, which is just in a backpack instead of a handheld. So anyway, let's start it up. Turn it on, set a choke. 1, 2, 3. Give it one more for good luck. Okay. Tripod right over here. If I can. There we go. So, back you guys up a little bit. Alright. So, not too bad. Yeah, it's a little cold, so I'll let it warm up for a little bit. Awesome. That started right up. Alright, next. Alright, now for the 2014 Echo PB500T backpack leaf blower. So, as you can see here, this is powered by a 50.8cc engine, and it was built in August of 2014. So, this is no longer being made by Echo. It's been replaced by the PB580T, which you'll be seeing that right after this. It has a slightly bigger engine at 58cc and slightly different look to it, as well as some improvements. But I do really like this backpack blower, though. It has been very reliable for me in the years I've owned it. Haven't really had too many issues with it. So let's start it up. Uh-oh. Looks like there's some bird droppings on the tube here. That's not very good. Anyway, turn it on. Come over here. Set it to choke and give it some primes for a good time. And also too, in this blower, I'm actually running the Echo Red Armor fuel. So with that said, let's set the camera down. Okay, that should be good there. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Okay. Two poles, like always. Awesome. Great blower. And the only thing I might have to do to this blower at some point is get a new flex tube for it. So as you can see, this one here is starting to wear out a little bit, and it's even a little cracked right there, so I might have to get a new one at some point. But nevertheless, it started right up. Alright, now for the beast. Alright, now for the beast. The 2024 Echo PB580T backpack blower. So as you can see here, this one here is powered by a 58.2cc engine, and doesn't have the date on there, but I did buy it in 2024. So yeah, I used it all summer last year and even in the fall. And again, I love this blower. So powerful, lightweight, and runs beautifully. So we'll start it up. And as you can see here, it has definitely been used because it is getting a little dirty over there, so I'm gonna have to clean that. So I do try to keep this thing very clean. So with that said, let's start this up. Turn it on. Set it to choke. Give it some primes. 4, 5. And as you can see there, can you see that? I am running Echo Red Armor fuel in this blower. That's all I ever run in this thing. I never run the pumped fuel in this. And since and because of that, I've never had any issues so far with it. So let's grab the tripod and we will set you up. Okay, that should be good there. All right, start it up. Okay. Has a nice smooth sound to it. Okay. Awesome. So that was the last equipment. So everything is now running and ready for the season. So I'd say we're gonna have a pretty good season. So there was part 1 of the 2-stroke equipment, so now stay tuned for part 2 of the lawnmowers. That'll be another sweet video. So that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright everyone, thanks for watching.